Happy Sunday. I hope you guys are having a marvelous Sunday. We are out in the forest today because we are going to be making a magic wand. Before we jump into all of that, if you don't know who I am Tara with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot. You can check out a little bit more about me by checking out the information box down below. So maybe checking out my website, kittensweightsandtarot.com, which, by the way, I added a new listing and I modified another listing. So those who are interested in getting a Mayan compatibility chart, also known as a Mayan composite chart, where you take two individuals, whether they are romantically inclined or friends or business partners or family members, or maybe you're looking to get a new kitty cat or dog, a compatibility chart is something that maybe you want to look into. So over on Etsy, I modified my Mayan birth chart to include a Mayan obsidian disc. So it's the Tzolk'in calendar / Hop calendar. If you guys are interested in adding that along with your astrological reading. But I still have to do that addition over on the website. But over on the website, we do have the composite chart available, so you could definitely check that out. So I just wanted to give you guys some updates. But yeah, definitely check out all those other links, our Witchy shop, Desert Cauldron, James's Crystal shop, Light of Riga. But anyway, let's talk about today, folks. So how are you guys? How are you this Sunday? Looks like Angela's here. Hello, good morning. Susie's here. She says, everyone have a beautiful day. I have to miss this week. See you next week. Much love. Mwah! Susie, I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful Sunday and a beautiful week. So, okay, today, you guys, first of all, we're heading into that still sort of Lion's Gate, super full moon in Aquarius, also known as the sturgeon moon. And yeah, there's a lot of energy. Had a trouble sleeping last night. Woke up several times, like at 12:30 and then at like 3 a.m. or something. But anywho, I set out a poll over on my Patreon, also for my YouTube members and for the public. And it was asking you guys four questions. What do you guys want to see during today's live chat? And everybody almost unanimously said that they wanted to do a DIY magical wand. So that's what we are going to be doing today. I will do the weekly reading first. Then we will do the magical wand making. I have all of my goodie supplies. I'll turn the camera in a moment so you guys can see all of that. And then, yeah, we'll do maybe super chats and super stickers if people are interested in having a card pull for themselves, and then a little guided meditation. Just like the last couple of weeks over on Instagram, after the live chat is over, I will post for people to do donation readings over on Instagram if you're more comfortable there and seeing something written out. I put everybody's reading in the stories. Of course, they are anonymous. I was going to say unanimous. They're anonymous. So nobody knows who's asking what question, but you'll definitely know that it's for you. There might be a squirrel up there who just dropped a berry on my head. So anyway, okay. So let's turn the camera. Let me adjust this here so you guys can see kind of what we're doing today. Okay, so I have a bunch of supplies here to make our witchy wand. But we're also going to be doing, ooh, I feel like I'm so little right now. We're also going to be doing the weekly reading. So first and foremost, I want to shout a few people out. My beautiful patrons, I love you guys. Myrna and Karen and Palu and Lisa and Heather, Lily, Dana, Jamie, Kayla, Surian, Brandy, Jason and Brian. Love you guys so much. Thank you for all of your support. For my YouTube members, Lisa and Kayla and Nancy and Astrid and Jolene. Love you guys. Mwah! Oh, hey, our buddy Marcus is here. Hello. And of course, to all of my beautiful subscribers, thank you guys for being amazing and for all of your support. I am appreciative to have you on this journey with me. And thank you to everybody who comes into these live chats and to my mighty, mighty moderators and all of that. So, all right, you guys, let's get into some fun. I'm wondering, let's see. No, I think this is a good angle for the camera. There we go. Okay, so I have the Blacklight Tarot today, and of course, my Wally's World, which, by the way, if you're interested, the link for Wally's World is down below. All right, so let's see what we have cooked up this week, and then let's get into our wand making. So if you are going to be pulling cards along with us, which I highly recommend, I love having other people's points of view and just other messages from other higher selves. So if you want to channel something, you want to bring some downloads in, you want to use some runes or some cards, definitely let us know what you're working with and go ahead and share those downloads, share those messages. I think it just creates for a much more well-rounded reading. Okay, let's see, put this there. All righty. And we had some pretty awesome thunderstorms. They usually roll in about the same time every day, like 2 or 3 p.m. Who knew that Mother Nature was scheduled? Sounds fishy. Anyway, so we decided to set the mood one evening while it was thundering and lightning. And by the way, one of those thunders was so loud, it like rumbled and shook everything like it was an earthquake. Made me nostalgic, you know, like I kind of miss California. I used to love earthquakes. Anyway, I decided to switch out one of the light bulbs in the house so that we could have like a black light party and light some candles. And so I had the black light tarot, and it was just so freaking cool. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll pull a card from Wally's World first, and then I want to pull a few clarifiers from the black light tarot to see what we have going on this week, especially with Monday's full moon. So tomorrow's full moon, which means the moon is pretty full right now as well. But yeah, of course it peaks tomorrow. And I will say that with all this like monsoon rain and everything, our little garden is just as happy as can be. We have a couple of more squash, like butternut squash, that have exploded out of their seed. And so they are tiny little plants. They got 3 little leaves right now. It's very nice. The zucchini that I transplanted looked like it shed all of its leaves except for some of the newest ones. So I think it did that as a form of protest in its shock. But they seem to be doing okay right now. I brought over one of the other zucchini that's like in a pot, so you guys can see over there. And that guy's doing okay. The corn, though, my goodness, it's like they're on steroids, plant steroids. Anyway, okay. So Marcus is saying, let's see, let me see if I can read it. Okay, so 18/8/2024, 1 constellation, Purva, Shada, or Sagittarius, 2 moon, Capricorn in tarot, High Priestess card 3, Sun, Leo, Zodiac, ancestors 4, Venus, Leo 5, and Jupiter, Taurus. Wow, we got a lot going on, let me tell you. Okay, so in this card that we have here, this is actually the person that took this picture is one of our other moderators. You guys probably haven't seen her in a while, but her name is Sherry Bug D. She's amazeballs, but that was her horse Charlie, so Charlie horse. Anyway, Wally is photoshopped right back there, just chilling in the pasture. So let me dive into this and see what we're getting for this week. Okay, so I keep hearing like choices, and not that that's anything new, really. I mean, we're making choices literally every second of every day. Like, I choose to sit here, I choose to do a live chat, I choose to make a wand today, I choose to water my garden. We have all of these choices. I choose to walk or not walk, yoga, not yoga. But this is more choices that are more in alignment with your best and highest good. So, choices that could lead to growth and consciousness expansion. It doesn't mean that all the choices could be pleasant, but for you to just be conscious this week, for all of us to be conscious this week about the choices that we're making. So, if there's a difficult choice coming up for us this week, we want to make sure that it's our soul, it's our higher self that's making that choice rather than our ego. Because our ego is just going to do everything it can to keep us in what we already know and to keep us in this plane of existence, because that's its job. I mean, it doesn't make it good or bad. It's just, it's like, hey, I just work here. That's what I'm supposed to do. Whereas the soul is like, yeah, I'm all about expansion. I'm all about learning opportunities, and if that means making some difficult decisions sometimes so that I can learn, so that I can expand my consciousness, then I'm going to put that in front of my little human vessel so that I have the free will choice to make that. So keep that in mind this week. Like I said, whether it's an easy choice or difficult choices, just make sure that you drop into your heart space, that we all do. I remind myself as well, drop into that heart space and who's at the wheel making that decision. At least I know either consciously my ego is making this decision, or consciously I know that my soul is making this decision. But just make sure you have clarity on it, especially with all this, crazy energy floating all around, which means that, if our outside world, the energy is getting cray cray, that means that our inner world, the energy is shifting and moving as well. So that's why I say go inwards, because if we want to understand this outer world, we got to understand this inner world first. All right, and Debbie's here. Hello, love and light to you. Marcus says, no, seven chariot, or number seven chariot card, number one high priestess card, and nine hermit card. Wow, a chariot, high priestess, and hermit. Those are some interesting cards for this week. Wow. Okay, so let me get some a little bit more with this black light tarot. We have the devil card. Kind of wish we had black light right now. This would so pop. We have the sun. Wow. And then we have the star. Holy cow, we have three majors. Are you serious right now? I mean, Marcus is over there pulling majors as well. That's crazy. Like I said, the energy's been intense. Oh, hey, Lady Squirrel, what's up? And she's going to go inside the Jeep. That's cool. All right, so let's see what we get from this. So sun, devil, and star. Okay, so this is kind of just piggybacking off of this card right here, where I was talking about choices, making sure that we're all dropping into the heart space so that we, make a choice that's more in alignment with our soul. Um, and it's saying that sometimes logically, so this is with our ego, with our logic, when we make a decision, we're looking for that favorable outcome for our ego. So, like, let's say there was two job opportunities. Since Marcus had pulled the chariot, it's making me think of twos. Okay, so let's say we had two opportunities. In one job, they're going to pay me less. They're not going to pay me as much money as I want. But it's definitely something I would love to do. I'd be happy going to work every single day. It would totally light me up. There might be some opportunities to meet some people along the way that might lead to something else. But on the just surface, it looks like I wouldn't get paid very much. However, there might be another opportunity presenting itself where it says to start, you're going to make a ton of money. And maybe it's not going to be exactly what you want to do, but you're going to be making bank. And so logically, you're like, well, why on earth would I start with the job that pays very little and I would be struggling. Sure, I'd be happy doing what I'm doing, but maybe I'd rather be a little unhappy just so I can make more money, which would make me happy, right? Well, that's what the ego mind is going to try to waffle between. It's going to try to justify its choice. This is why we drop into the heart space. And maybe the heart space is like, yeah, sure, go with a job that pays more because you're going to be working on this, because you're going to be healing this, because you're going to have the opportunity for this. Okay, but at least you have the clarity from your soul, right? Whereas if we go the other route, maybe the higher self's like, you know what, maybe you're not making too much right now, but in developing consciousness, in developing, your healing and the people that you're going to meet and the experiences you're going to have, is going to way outweigh the amount of money that you're going to make in the other job. But we wouldn't know that if we didn't drop into our heart space. So I think that's the major takeaway from this week's reading. Jolene is here. Hello. What up? She says, hello, everybody. Always look forward now to this time of the week. Yay! I'm so glad you're spending your Sundays with us. I love spending my Sundays with you guys. You guys are amazeballs. Okay, so let's go ahead and make a wand. I'm excited. Okay. Maybe I will, hold on. I'm gonna drop this tripod just a little bit to get you guys closer to the table so you kind of see what we're working with here. There we go. Hey, we're closer. What's up? Oh, Taro is here. Hello, hello. Oh, sorry, Tanu. This is Yet Yogesh, current feeling, no connecting. Ah, interesting. Okay, so here we go, you guys. We have our, maybe I'll lift up the tripod just a little bit here, just so we have more room. Okay, so to make a magic wand, all right, maybe this is a wand that you want to create for this super full moon that we're going to be having. Maybe it's something for your altar space. Maybe you're just looking for a little arts and crafts. But we have a few wands that we sell in our Desert Cauldron shop, and I brought a few of them here just so you can see ideas for wands that really you can make them out of anything. And in fact, here's a stick that I found in our forest, and I don't know, it just kind of like felt right to me. I never chopped down any branches for any of the wands we've ever made. I've never taken from a live tree. I've always just taken from what it has shed. It's felled branches and nettles and berries and things like that. But even if a simple little stick like this could work as a wand too. You don't have to do anything fancy with it. Of course, we know the first and very first and foremost, the wand that is the most special is right here. It's our little finger. The magic is within us. So the wand itself, the creation of it, is really just an external representation of our own magic and directing that magic, which we could direct with our intention or direct with our fingers and our hands. But we do make wands for those who are looking for something else that they could place on their altar, perhaps a specific stone or type of material that they want to incorporate into their practice. So this wand here is one that we have in our Desert Cauldron shop. And this is made out of boar bone and citrine. And here we have a Brazilian quartz up at the top. I've added a few little adornments here, I guess, and this is made out of deer leather. Of course, everything is ethically obtained. We don't want any harm coming to our animal friends. So the reservations in Montana and here in the White Mountains, they sometimes sell some of their wares from, animals that have passed away naturally. All right, so we have this boar bone wand in our shop at the moment. We have a skinny little wand here, which is made out of a juniper branch. We have a little quartz crystal there, and I've used a little bit of hemp to secure it to the top here with our Brazilian quartz. We have a little white mountain quartz here at the bottom, which we like to call glowstone because it really does glow in the sunshine. I know we're in the shade, but It really does glow. Um, James also makes these really cool wands, which we're adding a couple more to the cauldron pretty soon. But they're wrapped in leather, but they also have a cool copper wire wrap. And James is really good at making copper wire wraps. So we have a Brazilian quartz sphere at the bottom here, a Brazilian quartz tip, and then we have from Madagascar our black tourmaline, which is high quality black tourmaline. It's super cool. So I like the grounding yet high vibrational energy of this. This is why we created this. He also created a little veil at the top in case you wanted to hang it from somewhere or maybe hang it around your neck. It seems a little heavy for that, but you could definitely hang it maybe near your altar. But yeah, it just feels really good in the hand. And that's the thing. You have to make sure that it's something that you're going to use, it's something that you're going to like. And lastly, just for another example, like I said, I'm just kind of showing you guys some examples. Oh, and Jolene says, so what we're doing today, oh, wands. Nice. This is one that we don't have listed in the cauldron, but maybe we will list very soon. It's just we've been working with it and it's very special to us. So, but anyway, this is made out of juniper branch. Again, we have some deer leather and sinew. We have a Brazilian quartz up at the top here, and we also have a Brazilian quartz down at the bottom. And this little piece right here is 2,000-year-old pottery from the Anasazi, also known as the Atul. So this has been a wand that we made for ourselves, but we're thinking of maybe listing it in our shop. We definitely had to sit and have a meditation first because we're very protective of this land, and we try not to give away too much of this land, especially when it comes to all the ancient pottery here, 2,000-year-old pottery to be exact. Okay, but anyway, definitely check out the shop if you want a ready-made wand. But I think you're here today because you're ready for some DIY action. So Jolene says, that looks like a stable wand. Just looking at it feels really balanced. Dude, I love this one so much, which is why I was like, I don't know if I want to list it. But I guess we will. All right. So to make a, I guess a stick wand, you're gonna need a stick or a bone or hey, whatever you have on hand. And before we get a little crazy with this, let's just show you the supplies I have. So I have a wood burning tool because I want to burn some runes onto this. I also have my sandpaper because I'm going to sand off the outer portion of the stick. I also have some sinew. I don't know, maybe I might use it. If I am going to use leather, I usually use sinew to kind of hold it in place. I also have leather string. Again, this leather is ethically obtained from our friends in the reservations in Montana. I also have a little Brazilian quartz that I found. Oh, hey, who's that up there? Interesting. That's like a new birdie making a new sound. Anyway, I really loved this little crystal and I thought it would look really nice at the end of a wand. Plus, I love having quartz at the end of a wand. I feel like it's a very good conductor of energy and amplification. So that's what we have. I have some glue. And then I have a bit of fabric because I want to do something kind of for a handle, which I don't think I've done before, but I want to give it a go. And then one of our blue jay friends gifted me a feather. So I want to see if I can incorporate this feather. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to move the camera right here because we're going to do a little bit of sanding. So, oh, and down there I have my my extension cord so I can plug in my burn tool. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's get some of this stuff off the stick. I just want to smooth it down just a little bit. I don't want to take everything off because I want to leave it kind of cool and craggy. If you're wondering what grit paper this is 80 grit 3M paper. So it's real gritty. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. And I love that it has little notches and things like this. And I'm not going to take those off. I want to go with the natural feel of the stick. If our buddy Patrick were here, he could tell you all about sculpting and working with wood. He makes some fabulous creations. So if you look up, I believe it's magic_universe on Instagram, you could see all the wonderful things that he's been creating. Okay. Let's see how, okay, let's see. Let's get this part right here. Jolene says, this is really relaxing, just watching you doing some painting at the same time. Thank you. Oh, awesome. And Marcus says, 3 Aquarius, Zodiac, Moon, and Sun card. Hey, you got the Sun card too. Heck yeah. Probably all that freaking Leonian energy. Okay. I think that'll do for now. There we go. So I just smoothed it out a little just so it feels a little bit better in our hands. Dana's here. She says, hi, everyone. Hey, how are you? Okay, let's come back to the table here. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so let's see. We have our wand. What's the first thing I want to do? Which end are we going to put our Christie? Maybe here? Oh, that might be kind of cool. I mean, we could attach it like that. That might be kind of rad, actually. See, you got to let the material speak to you, so you have to kind of use your intuition, I suppose. But I'm kind of asking, like, the crystal and the stick itself, like the branch itself, which, by the way, this is a juniper branch. Where do you want this crystal, and do you want a crystal? And it looks like it would be kind of cool right there. All right. So if I were going to glue it down, which I will maybe. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of glue. We're going to glue this baby down. You know what I forgot? Paper towels. Paper towels are like my #1 craft tool. Okay, and then I'm going to stick the quartz right there. All right, so I'm going to just hold it here for just a second. Hey, oh, Jolene was, or Dana saying hello to Jolene. Hey, hey. Okay, so I'm just kind of waiting for this to just dry for a scooch. And then I want to take a little bit of this leather here and I want to wrap it a little bit. Okay, Marcus says, Capricorn Zodiac number 16, Tower card. Dude, that is my card of the year, just saying. And then the card number 17, the star card, related with Capricorn, High Priestess. Yes. All right. Okay, I think it's there enough where it could just maybe chill while I cut a piece of leather. Can you chill? Do you have any chill? Okay, well, we'll put it there. Okay, let's cut a piece of leather. Like I said, this is deer skin. And I got this from some friends in Montana who live on the reservation. This being ethically obtained, of course. All right. Okay, I have a little strip here let's see what we could do. Okay, first of all, do we want to do the beige side or do we want to do the brown side? Let me see. Brown, beige. I kind of like the greenish beige. I don't know. Hmm. Maybe if we kind of wrap it a little bit down here, that might be kind of cool. Maybe give it a little tuck in. Yeah, that might be nice. Let's do that. Okay, so I'm gonna glue this down then. How about that? Okay, so again, we need a little bit more glue. Put my scissors over here. All right, so let me unwrap it so I can actually glue it down. So I'm gonna put a little bit of glue here just to keep the first end of it down. All right. And then we're gonna come around here and around here. Down here. All right, and then I'm gonna try to tuck it inside of itself. Let's see if I get her done. Come on, I did it once before with the hay nozzles. Okay. I think that's okay. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit of glue in there because I want to make it stick. Okay. So far we have a piece of deer leather. And the reason I like deer leather, not that I specifically would want deer to be harmed. Like I said, these are ethically obtained. So these are deer that have died in nature. But I love the grounding yet high vibe energy of animal medicine, like deer animal medicine. They're very grounded. They're connected to Mama Gaia, kind of like cow energy or Hathor energy. But also just like with for the boys, you know, the stags and the bone in their antlers, the ivory, it's to me kind of pointing to the heavens, connected to intuition, higher self. It's all about the inner knowing. So to me, it's a beautiful balance, and that's kind of what I want with a wand. Is I want a nice balance. I think I will add a little bit of sinew here. Let's see. Let's go back here. Marcus was saying for Moon and Capricorn. Angela saying blessings and hello all. Lots of love today. May angel hugs and doll blessings brighten up your day. Amen. Good to see you, my friend. Shadowlands is like, hey, hello, hello. Jolene says, really need to try and make one magical wand for sure. Angela says, dear, love jumping and running. So likely no chill, just joy. I know, right? And Marcus says tarot cards come are paper as per the energy of the day. Yes, yes. And Jolene says, do you put intentions or do a ritual or something when you go through the process? I did kind of before I came on today, so before I started, you know, the live chat, is I set the intention that whatever comes forward is for the best and highest good of my own spiritual practice, but also for the wand itself, for the materials. I have asked the forest permission if I could utilize its materials. And so I just kind of set this space for myself. I do a little, I do a meditation every morning. So just kind of grounding myself and everything, eating source and all of that. Angela says, what are we making? I love it already. Shadowland says, we occasionally see white-tailed deer roaming in our neighborhood and front yard. That is so cool. You know, Shadowlands, we have a few white-tailed deer here. We also have mule deer, a lot of mule deer actually. But yeah, they're all over the place. Um, Marcus says for his tarot cards, the Zodiac's 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 equals 78. The number 78, 78 cards. Very nice. You're always so good with the numbers. I love it. Angela said, so good to see you too, Tara and Shadowlands and everyone in the chat today, sending hugs, love, and light your way. She says, I love deer vibes. They are a mix of masculine and feminine, like unicorn vibes. Exactly. All right, so I think this has dried sufficiently where I'm going to add now a bit of sinew, which coincidentally also comes from deer. Okay, so let's see how much of this I need. I don't think I need very much. I just kind of want to do, there we go. I'm going to start down here and then maybe kind of wrap around like this. Ooh, I kind of like that. That's the good stuff right there. Okay, so you see how it kind of holds in the leather there. Jolene says, we have a deer family who roams behind our house. They live in the forest, but in the winter we feed them their favorite foods. Highly recommend everyone who has thought about feeding animals. Yeah, that's what we try to do, especially in the wintertime. I mean, I know we set food out here kind of any time of year, but we try to put out a lot more in winter because it snows here, and we know that it's a little bit more difficult for the animals to find non-frozen food or food at all. So yeah, we try to put out a little bit more for the squirrels, for the chipmunks, the birds, the deer, the coyotes. We have a bobcat that lives around here. We have a mountain lion. We have all kinds of friends here. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm just kind of gluing down the sinew now. I might end up gluing my finger to it in the process. That's okay. Snafus happen. Okay. All right. So there we go. That we have our little tip there. John says, hi, the party can start. All right, that's it, everybody. The party can now start. Our buddy John is in the house. Nice. How are you? Angela says, we all got to help each other. What good is food if we don't share it? Exactly. Jolene said, that is so cool. So cool. John says, I stuck my arm in a bobcat den once. Not my smartest moment. Why would you stick it in a bobcat den? Wow. But you know what? I can't bust anybody else's stuff because I do things that are not so bright, like all the time. Okay. I was thinking of doing a little, I don't know. Let's see, how do I feel like that feels like the natural position for holding it. So I think down here, I want to do maybe some red fabric. Yes, I think that would be kind of cool, actually. All right. So let's do it. And I want the fabric to be kind of jaggedy. Like I have this vision in my head of it being like not smooth. Like kind of, I don't know, primal. That's the word. I don't know. So I'm going to cut a long strip because I'm not sure. Whoops. Not sure how many times I'm going to have to wrap this thing. And this is just my leftover like fabric scraps from sewing. All right, all the way to the bitter end. All right. Okay, so I have this little piece here. So I think I'm gonna just wrap it. I'm just doing a shoddy job right now, but just to give you a visual of kind of like what I have going on in my head. But something like that. Okay, so let's rough up and fray the ends or the sides a little bit. So I'm going to take my scissors and we're just going to like fray it. Yeah, baby. That's right. Get rough. Do it, Mo. Gosh darn it. All right. Yeah, that's looking really good actually. I like this frayed look. Yeah, I like it. The more frayed, the better. I think that's gonna be rad. I think I like things that don't look polished. I like when things are rough. That's probably why the crystals that I have, a lot of them are not polished. Like there's just straight from the earth, still got dirt on them. That's my favorite thing. I like all natural, baby. Angela says it wants to make a connection so badly it's stuck on you. I know, right? Jolene says it's good to have connection here. If you meant the internet, I know. I mean, hey, connection all around. Comunicado, very important, especially during this Mercury retrograde. Okay, so we have it nice and frayed. So I'm gonna do a little glue dot there. And I'm gonna start my wrapping. All right. Okay. Wrap it on up. You know what I was thinking of actually adding this feather, like wrapping it into the fabric. So let's see where I want to put this feather. Okay, if the feather's that long and I'm going to be holding it like this, I probably want the feather up here, actually. Maybe in there. All right, let's do it. Okay, I think here's a good place to wrap my feather in. Okay, we're having technical difficulties. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to try to stick it into itself just like I did with the leather. Okay, we're going to put a little glue, make it stick. Alrighty, let's see if I can use some of that old sinew to kind of wipe the excess glue away, like so. All right, well that's pretty cool. So we got a blue jay feather in there now. I like the red because to me, red represents blood, life force, energy, collective consciousness, the earth, all of these things. I might put a little glue underneath the feather as well. Just make sure it's got a good stick to it. I'm telling you, this wand wants to stick to me. Okay, so we have that going on so far. Let's do a little bit of wood burning, shall we? Because I want to burn some runes into here. Okay, so wow, I really love that wand. Oh my gosh, I love this so much. Like I can't even tell you. But that's the thing, when you're making your own stuff, it should be something that you love, something that you're going to utilize. Okay, so we have the wood burning tool. If you're wondering what type of wood burning tool I'm using, it's just one that I got on the Amazons. It looks like this. Angela says, good connections and big hugs and cake are very, very important these days. Jillian says, yes, it's always funny when anyone writes happy words and interesting topics. Yes. She's wondering where Susie's at. Susie had a prior engagement today, but she'll catch us next week. But she did pop in at the very beginning to say hello. But yeah, she just has some things to do. Okay, I'm gonna put this on top of here. Let's see what type of point I want to use to burn schniznits in here. Let's see. Let me use this one or this one. No. No, I think I want to use this one. All right, we'll use that little wood burning nib right there. Okay, so we're gonna screw this on. Burp-a-derp. Okay, give that a close. And let's plug it into our extension cord down here. Okay. Let's set the temperature to nice and hot. All right. Just making sure that's starting to warm up. And it is. Excellent. All right. I don't really recommend holding the hot end of the, the tool, but it just started warming up. So there we go. I really love this. I think the Blue Jay energy is just the tits. Like, I love this. This is awesome. Okay. Let's put in some runes. Now I'm thinking what rune to use. I like the Nordic runes, like the Elder Futhark. So I think I'm gonna make some bind runes, perhaps. Jillian says, all right. Lady Red Wolf says, hello, nice to meet everyone. First time making it live. Welcome, welcome. Well, today we're just doing a bit of arts and crafts. We did a little reading at the very beginning, so if you're interested in the weekly reading, just rewind a little bit. But I thought I would just show everybody how I make wands, and it's really just utilizing my intuition. I'll have all the materials out and I don't really know how it's going to look. I kind of go with the shape of the wand and the feel of the energy of the tree. Like, what did it want? What does the crystal want? What does the leather, the fabric, the bird feather, what do they all want? All right, that's getting nice and hot. Okay, we'll give it a little bit more time to warm up there. In the meantime, I'm going to have a little bit of water. Okay. I think I would like to add the runes for maybe legacy, strength, protection, and birthing something new. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. That sounds good. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I don't know if this is quite hot enough yet. We'll see in just a moment. Maybe I'll just clip this part off just a little bit. Maybe the thread's a little too long. There we go. Threads to the forest. All right, that looks better. Oh, maybe one more. Boop. Okay. Jolene says, hey, everyone seems to be creative today. I know, we're all in like this artsy fartsy mood. I dig it. Maybe it's this super full moon energy that we got going on pretty soon. John says he also prefers the elder. Angela says, OMG, blessings, Lady Red Wolf. Welcome, welcome to you. We are so glad you made it. Nice to meet you. Shadowland says, the only annoyance I have right now is that my health insurance will be up at the end of the month and was denied. The re-up on is due to making a bit over the limit for, oh my gosh, dude, I'm gonna send some good juju your way, Shadowlands. That sucks. Lady Red Wolf says, thank you so much, Angela, for the warm welcome. I'm so happy to be here. Blessings. All right. Okay. I think it's time to get Bernie. Up all night to get Bernie. What do I want to put here first? Okay. I don't know if it's hot enough yet, actually. Yeah, it's not quite hot enough yet. Whew, it's hot, but it's not hot enough. Okay, I'll let that get a little bit hotter. All right. In the meantime, I guess while I wait for that to turn the temperature of lava, I guess we could do super chats and super stickers now if you guys wanted. Yeah, while I wait for this burn tool to heat up. But I probably should have started heating it when I was making the wand. But you know what? C'est la vie. C'est la vie. Angela says, I'll absolutely take the art manifestations. I manifest more dolls, doll supplies, and designs. And Lady Red Wolf says, I love this idea. Marcus says, card number 2, Magician, has a wand in his hand, an Aquarius Zodiac, number 18 card, Moon, and the 19th card, the Sun card, matches perfectly with the wand you are making. I love it. I love the synchronicities that we always have during these live chats, you know? Okay. How are we doing? Hot stuff. Okay, it's starting to create a little something. Okay, I think we're burning now. Now we're working with gasolina. Okay. All right, so I'm just trying to create a nice little burn line. But what I have found is that juniper wood is considered, technically it's considered a softwood, but I don't see how that's possible because juniper is really hard. I mean, the Diné or the Navajo, they made their hogans and a lot of the, you know, especially like the female hogans out of giant juniper beams, you know, huge logs of juniper. They withstand a lot, and there's a lot of people who make their homes, you know, some of the structure out of juniper. A lot of furniture gets made out of juniper. So when it comes to like burning juniper, it like takes a lot of heat actually. Like it has to get really hot, like singeing hot. But these trees, they're resilient. I mean, the trees in this forest are 800 to 1,000 years old. So these trees last a long time. And they stand up to lightning strikes because we get quite a bit of lightning around here. And the property gets struck by lightning quite often. Okay, I'm just making my little runic symbol, Berta, for like manifestation, creation, birthing something new. That's my intention. Especially mixing in the intuition and the groundingness of deer, the collective consciousness color of red, the color of blood and life force energy. And then we have blue jay here, you know, the feather, representing good communication skills. But also, just like coyote, they can be tricksters, as blue jays are good mimickers of the calls of other birds, especially birds that are bigger than them. And they do that sometimes to trick the other animals. Like if they see some food that the animal is eating and the bird wants it, it'll pretend to sound like a hawk or a vulture or something like that. And then the bird drops its food, or the animal drops its food, runs away, in swoops the blue jay to take it away. So they're very crafty animals. And so if you need help looking through deception, seeing through deception, I think coyote and blue jay are actually really good. Okay, so that's our very first rune. That's the Berta. Let me let that heat up a little bit more. Angela says, you're very welcome. Lady Red Wolf, you seem very sweet. John says, could you tell me what's been incorporated into the wand so far? Sure. Angela says, I ain't that social today, so might not write so often. Hey, no worries. Lady Wolf says, I try to be. Jolene says, but hope everything is well with you all anyways. Of course. And Shadowland says, what's the spiritual significance of black locust trees? That I don't know. I would have to tap in energetically, actually. I mean, maybe we could look stuff up too, but I think the best thing is to kind of tap in energetically. John says, nice. I have some blue jay feathers. Oh, excellent. So, okay. The wood that I'm using here is a juniper branch that was felled. It was just on the ground. So I smoothed it out with some sandpaper. I added a Brazilian quartz crystal to the end. I kind of glued it down and then I wrapped it in leather, deer leather and deer sinew. And then I kind of roughed up a little bit of some red fabric here to kind of use as a handle and so that I could insert this blue jay feather. So that's what we have so far. Now I'm just adding like a couple of the runes that I wanted here. Angela says, all is well with me. I hope it is with you. I saw a giant firefly snake yesterday and a bunch of hunter's doves. Oh wow, I don't think we have those here. Sound cool. Shadowland says, I have the ideas to make a walking staff stang out of black locust branch. Ooh, you know what I would do, especially if you're going to be utilizing plant material, is tap into the energy. I mean, it's one thing to be able to, at least for me personally, look up something on the internet or in a book and get a meaning or definition. But to me, it means so much more like when you tap in. Like when I tap into this, juniper branch, it's nice to be able to feel its energy and see how it wants me to work with it. It's so much, I don't know, it just seems so much more personal. And then you have this personal connection with your magical tool, I think, as you should. Okay. Trying to make the next runic symbol. It's just, like I said, juniper is a very hard wood. Alrighty. John says, I believe black locusts are supposed to be protective. And he said, the red is stunning. Oh, thank you. Angela says, not firefly snake, a giant great basin snake. My mobile is wacky. I was like, what? But that sounds cool. Firefly snake? Dude, I'd want to see a firefly snake. Perhaps it exists and we just don't know it. But yeah, I haven't seen a basin snake either. I've seen like little like garter snakes. I've seen rattlesnakes. I think those are really all the snakes I've really seen in the wild. Mostly they're just rattlers. Of the ones I've seen in California and in Arizona. All right, so now the looking to make this portion. I will say it smells really good. The burning wood. Well, this is not my best rune symbol, but whatevs. Whatevs. Dude, I am so going to use this wand tonight and tomorrow when I'm working with the moon. It's going to be badass. I love this energy. I love creating my own magical tools. I mean, I love the creations of others too, and I have purchased the creations of others. But just something about your own stuff. I don't know. Okay. Okay, it's just trying to get a nice burn. Okay, so I have the rune now for legacy. I have the Berta rune. Okay, then I would like to add the symbol for strength and protection. That one should be easy to make. I just have to keep going over it a few times. Like I said, the wood is very hard. This is very meditative. That's something that I like when I'm making my magical tools, especially wands. It's just so meditative. I mean, you have the sound of the water trickling in the background. You're out here in nature. Get to hear the trees and the birds and the animals. See the squirrels running by. Okay, this last rune is almost done. I was thinking of doing bind runes, but like I changed my mind. I just like the 3 separate runes on here then. Do, 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 do. Okay. How we looking, guys? All right. So we got our strength and protection. We have Bertha for manifestation plus legacy. Hey, Lady Squirrel, what's up? All right. Just smooth out my feather there. Okay. I think this baby is ready for some magic. What do you guys think? Maybe we'll use it during our meditation today. Oh, that would be so cool. Okay, let's see if I have to touch up anywhere on here. Maybe I'll do little touch-ups here. Okay, maybe a little touch-up down here. What you say? What you say? Okay, that looks good. That one looks good. Do a little. Okay. Make sure this looks good here. Just an extra little press in on some of the parts that are a little too light. I like pyrography. I have a thing for fire. Okay, I think that looks great. So I'm going to go ahead and unplug my tool here so it can cool down and I could not burn the living bejesus out of myself. Okay. All right. So ta-da! All right. Let me go back and see what you guys were talking about. Angela says perhaps it's an astral snake that glows. It could be. It could be. John says if we can imagine it, it exists somewhere. Exactly. Exactly. James says that all the time. You know, nothing is impossible. If you can imagine it, if it's in your brain somewhere, that means it exists somewhere. Shadowland says, we have a ginormous black locust tree in our front yard. Wow. You know what? You're gonna have me looking that up after the live chat today because I I want to see like what does this tree look like, and it seems really cool. Um, Angela said basin snakes eat rattlers. They get up to 5 feet but are gentle. Really? Whoa, that's some cool energy. John says I caught a fox snake and removed it from the inside of a building I was working at several years ago. Their camo looks like a rattlesnake, but they stay small. She was a sweet baby. Aw, that's so nice. You know what? I'm actually not afraid of snakes. I've moved a couple of snakes now from our top of the hill here just to kind of keep them away from the animals. But yeah, I mean, I never really feared snakes, and I've been around a lot of rattlesnakes. Angela says, "Gosh, she looks so good and cute. What are we gonna name her? I don't know. You know what? You guys start thinking of some names. What are some names? What could we call this wand?" And just as I feel the magical tools and dolls get names, just my view. I name everything. You know, I've named my pistols, I name my wands, I name my crystals that I work with. Like I name a lot of things. My dolls, my stuffed animals. She says, "Well, now I'm imagining glimmering firefly snakes that have constellations of light on scales made of shadows, and they go along eating stardust from the sky and devouring excess negative energy. I love it." John says, "I was thinking about our wolf friend from your property yesterday. I think he was calling me again to speak this full moon." Really? Okay. That is awesome. That is awesome. Um, Mike says, "Hi, love from myself and England." Hey, Mike, how are you? Angela says, "Luna Muna." For some reason, it sounds cute to me. Luna Muna. I like that. That's cute. That is a cute name. Angela sending blessings to Mike. All righty. Well, you guys, this was a lot of fun. Just give you again another close up here. Thank you guys for joining me on this DIY wand creation. I'll post some pictures on the Instagrams as well. I'm going to be using this for my full moon meditation / ceremony that I'll be doing for myself. Yeah, or just, you know what the heck, just directing energy all along the property, just and you get some energy, and you get some energy, and you get some energy. um, this is so cool. I love it so much. This is so rad. Ah! And you know what? It's got some of your guys' energy in it too, because you were here with me in the creation of this magical wand. Mike says, "I'm okay, thank you." John says, "I forget the names if I don't write them down." Um, I don't know how I remember the names, which is funny. I remember all the names of all the things that I've ever named, like my car, everything. But oh, hey, Blue Jay. But when it came to like when I was teaching, if I didn't have the seating chart in front of me for my students, I forgot their names all the time. I feel so bad. And during the school year, I remembered their names. But as soon as that last bell rang, and it was now summertime or winter break, when we come back from summer or winter, I'd be like, "Who are you?" I would remember their face, but I don't know. I just can't remember their names. But some of them I remember. But anyway, it's just kind of a funny thing. Let's see. Angela says the vibes on that wand are so joyful, love and light for sure. Negativity be transmuted. Whoosh. Jolene says, anyone else doing something creative today? Yeah, definitely let us know. What do you guys have cooking today? Maybe you're baking creatively, maybe you're painting or sculpting, maybe you're building something today. Maybe you're doing something cool with your car today. Maybe you're painting it. I don't know, putting a cool mural on the side of your vehicle. I've seen those. It seems like it would be cool. Angela said, yes, yes, yes. I have two dolls I'm working on, one for a work friend, one for someone else. They are not magic dolls, but full of good vibes. Ah, John says, I think it's a quality of us whose consciousness is in the stars. That is beautiful. Well said, my friend. And Jolene says, so what spells would you use with this wand? Okay, so first, I definitely want to use it for the full moon. And by the way, if anybody wants to do super chats, super stickers, now's the time. Otherwise, we'll get into our guided meditation after this. Um, hmm. I would say anything where I'm wanting to bring something to me instead of more like to send it out. This is more what it feels like to bring things to me. So if I want to bring in abundance, maybe more creativity, I don't know, muse, like ideas for things. I just feel like this is, I know it has red, so it's like root chakra, but also throat chakra. I'm feeling with this blue jay. I get a lot of throat chakra vibes actually with the blue jay vibes. Um, so I think anything where this is about me speaking my truth, opening my truest voice, um, you know, connecting my root and speaking from it, you know, about what I believe in, my foundation and things. Also disrupting my beliefs so that I can, you know, maybe expand my consciousness and in that way. Um, Also, I think in meditation, healing meditation would be really good. And you know, I do have a lot of blue avian energy, so so having this blue jay feather, I think, is really awesome for that connection. So yeah, connecting to the blue avians, anything with the voice, anything about bringing something to me. I think any of those spells would be pretty awesome. Let's see. Let me go back here. So let's see. Angela says, I'd use it to bring better energy into the timeline of me and all those who need it to bring some goodness. Yes, we do have to pull a card for our friend Shadowlands. Jillian says, that would be so great and good to use for it. And then our buddy John, yay! And then Angela said, I send the wand hugs so it can bring in more hugs for Tara and all the beings around her. The world would be one big warm hug. I love it. John says, I just made myself some beautiful sausage for my dinner / tea. Hey, love it, love it, love it. Jillian said, that is so beautiful. Thank you. All right. So, Shadowlands, let's pull you a card. And also, John, let us know what your question is, or perhaps it's something more general. But let's use Wally's world for this. You know. Let's put a little bit of that magical intention into my deck. All right. Just imbibing it with positive energy, good intentions, imagining it surrounded in blue light. And so it is. All right. Ooh, my deck feels kind of zingy. This is nice. Angela says, hugs for all in the chat who need a hug. Also, where is Susie and Lisa? I miss them. Susie had a prior engagement today. She showed up at the beginning of the chat, but she said she'd catch us next week. I believe Lisa is also working on some things last I spoke to her. So she was kind of laying low for a little bit. But Shadowland says, my question is, will I fire a way to keep my current health or find a way to keep my current health insurance? Alrighty, let's take a look-ski. And then can't forget our friend John as well. Okay. Angela says, Susie and Lisa, if you see this later, we love you. Okay, so Shadowlands, I have this image that I actually took when I was in Viterbo, which is in Italy. You got Wally photoshopped right here. He's kind of just chilling off to the side, but we have this beautiful staircase almost leading up into the heavens, surrounded in a beautiful greenery. And so let's tap in about this health insurance. Okay, so Shadowlands, I'm seeing a lot of positivity around you. So I don't feel like you're going to be left with your butt hanging in the wind or anything like that. I feel like if you don't get this particular insurance back, I feel like you will find a way. Like there's going to be something there. There might be kind of a brief period where it feels like there's no health insurance, but it's going to be very brief. So it feels like something will end up working its way out. But this is also a wonderful opportunity to go inwards and try to understand why the higher self had put you in alignment with this particular course of action where we have the insurance going away, and and something lapsed, and these things. So kind of looking at your health in general and understanding that you have the power to help to heal yourself. Of course, we want to take measures in the 3D, and I'm not saying I'm not saying to like ignore 3D. Of course, we do have things that we have to do in 3D, and we do go see our doctor, and we do do these things. But there's also this inner healing that we do, and I think that that's what this disruption was for, was to understand that you have just as much power, if not more, actually, since you're a soul as well, to help heal the self. So as you go inwards and find out, like, let's say there was something wrong with my heart, which for me, I did have something wrong with my heart. I had a tachycardia and a PVCs, which is premature ventricular contractions, which just means my heart skips. Um, and of course, I went to the doctors, and there's all of that portion that we do, but there's also the energetic portion. I have to find out why my heart was doing that. Like, what was the energetic reason? What was the 4D reason? And when I worked on that, what was happening in 3D also started to change. So I think that that's the message for you too, is that yes, everything's going to be fine with your health insurance. Something will happen. So even if it's not this particular insurance, something will occur, to help you out with this. But before that can occur, you do need to go inwards and ask your higher self, within the parts within you that you feel need healing, what is the real energetic reason? Not the 3D reason, not the, it's this that the doctor says and this and that, but the real energetic reason. And as you start working on that, you'll start to see the doors open up again as it pertains to your health insurance and as it pertains to how they're helping you in the 3D. So I hope that makes sense. Um, all right. Okay. So let's pull a card for our friend John as well. Whew, that's still hot, 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 hot. So yeah, John, let me know if you have a question. I'm gonna have some more water here. Ah, I really can't wait to work with this after our live chat today. It's gonna be so fun. I'm gonna take this on my walk today around the forest, and I'm just gonna be like, bring, bring, bring. um, okay, John says he does, he does, he does. Alrighty. All right. Let me just give these a good shuffle. I'm gonna put these over here. Maybe I'll bring over some of the other wands so you guys can see the ones that we had in the shop. Our shop wands. I have to help James with a couple of wands that we're adding to the shop today. It's a couple more of these copper wire wrap wands that I want to add a little bit of leather to. I thought it would be really cool. All right, John says he'll just ask for a general though. All right, let's do it then. Let's do a little shuffle here. And put my wand here. Ta-da! Ah. Okay. Let's see. It's a very quiet day today. Normally I'm hearing more life around me, but okay, well, I hear the people at the gun club, so there's that. Okay. Let's see. Angela said, "Ooh, they are so nice. I'll have to get one from you someday." Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Check out the shop. Jolene says it's always scary when health insurance and other stable programs go away or start to go wrong. Yeah, definitely, especially because we've relied on them for so long. Okay. So the image here is actually, this is a ton of purple flowers and lavender, which I have photoshopped Wally there. Here we have a bunch of beautiful birch trees actually, and this was taken in Belgium by my good friend Steph, who lives out there. Mike says, I hope everyone is safe and well wherever you are. John says, I just made a little chlorite quartz and rainbow obsidian eye wrap mini wand slash, oh, pendant. Very nice. Okay, so let's tap in and see what message we have for John. Okay. Okay, so John, your higher self is saying that you've gotten to the next chapter in your healing journey, the next chapter in the expansion of your consciousness. And when we get to a new chapter, things kind of seem a little unsettled at first until we get into like this new routine of energy and this new routine of synchronicity and the way things, occur in our life. So you might notice that it's felt a little different, like a little change up, I guess. But when we're in those states of like limbo and in the middle of that transition, transmuting, and all of that, the higher self also begins to change in how it speaks to you, how you communicate with self. So understand that. So if communication with the self is also seems like it's harder or it's just a little bit different, there's nothing wrong. It's just kind of that changeover period. Also, the ego, this is where it feels like this is its time to shine. It loves when there is a disruptive period where we're kind of not in flow at the moment, where we're trying to refigure ourselves out, figure out, our how we're doing our healing, how we're, basically living our life. So it says just to make sure that like we're talking about decision making for this week, any decisions that you are making for yourself or things that you're deciding to do, always, always, always try to run it past your higher self. Even if your higher self, the voice has changed a little bit or it just feels a little different, it's just because everything is in limbo. But the ego is going to try to sound like your higher self. So do understand that. The only difference is the ego doesn't speak in wanting something for your best and highest good. It speaks in wanting comfortability for itself. So anything that will put you in an anxious state or a fearful state or in a limiting state, anything like that, know that that is your ego speaking. Even if it sounds love and light, even if it sounds like your soul, drop into the heart space and just confirm. So that's kind of what I'm getting. It's like, here's all these trees. Sometimes we can get a little lost in it, especially when we're going over a changeover period. So it seemed like that was like the most important thing for you to know right now is like the ego is going to get real, it's about to get real crafty because, as above, so below. If our higher self is growing and expanding, well, the ego has to grow and expand along with us because it wants to try to keep up with us because it wants to maintain its program because that's what it's programmed to do. Like I said, it's not a good or bad thing. That's just its job. Um, but if we do want to rise above the ego, then we have to, stay on top of its upgrades the same as we stay on top of our own energetic upgrades, if that makes sense. Okay, let's see. Let's go back here. Um, Angela says maybe things have to fall away for the new to fall into place. Dang, I sound like a fortune cookie. Hey, I like fortune cookies. John says a wire wrap, magic. Angela says, sounds beautiful. Jolene says, yes, I have to try and keep it all balanced, I guess. So that if stuff happens, you're a little prepared mentally, but it's really hard. And sometimes maybe you can't, I guess. Yeah, and John says, it's definitely a time for a quiet introspection. Yes, definitely. Especially when things are, not stable and smooth sailing just yet. Angela says, ego, you will listen to us and let our higher selves talk starting today. We don't need ego right now. We need to grow and you will do as we say. Amen. Amen, sister. And John says the visualizations are more intense. Wolf came in a Hogan this time. Really? You'll have to tell us all about it. That sounds just freaking amazing. John says, I've been trying to make sure I'm not just hearing what I want. See, that's the thing is every once in a while I have to do like a deep introspection because I'm like, am I just like, because even when I'm pulling cards sometimes, like let's say it's something that I really want to know, like I really have a vested interest in, my fear is that my ego is trying to get me to hear what I actually want to hear in the cards and it's not my intuition speaking. So that's usually when I put the cards down. I take a little break and I'm like, okay, we're going to do a little meditation and then I'm going to pick the cards back up and I'm going to consciously do the best I can to drop into my heart space to ground myself. And now I'm going to allow what needs to come through to come through. And so sometimes I do need to take a lot of extra time just to make sure that it's my intuition and not my ego. Like I said, but that's for like stuff when it's really important to me or it means a lot to me. Excuse me. Um, so sometimes, yeah, I don't know, like, is it my ego? Is it my higher self? So like, I need to stop, drop, and meditate, basically. um, I read, hey, Jolene, wow, thank you. She said, is there any message from my higher self or any general guidance? All is welcome. Thank you. She says 100 is around $10 translated. Okay. Thank you. Angela says, wolf vibes came to me too. I dreamed 2 days ago of it standing over me on the bed and then it licked my nose. This is so interesting. Okay, so you're talking about wolf vibes. John is talking about wolf vibes. In my meditation, the white wolf came back and I could have sworn I heard wolves early this morning when I was awake at 3 a.m. We haven't had wolves here in a while. Mostly we have coyotes, so I was making sure it wasn't coyotes, but I swear to you, I heard wolves out there. So this is amazing. All right, so we have Shadowlands as well. John says it's time for a purge for me. I don't want to do the purge. I know it's necessary. Yep. Jolene says this is really interesting that about the wolf dream. And John said, thank you. So Jolene, yeah, it's Tara, but it's Tara, Tara. Yes. Okay, so let's pull a card for Jolene, and then we'll take a look at our friend Shadowlands as well. She says, oh, you sent the pic of the ginormous black locust tree in the front yard. Oh, okay. Heck yeah. I want to see it. Okay. Jolene, Jolene. Am I pronouncing your name correctly? Because I have a friend named Jolene, so or is it Jolene? Let me know. I don't want to mispronounce your name. I am so sorry. Okay. Ooh, boca de mostre. Okay, so this image I actually took when I was, I guess this is outside of Rome, or were we in? No, we weren't in Florence. This is outside of Rome, but anyway, it's the Parque de Mostre. So this is like this man, he commissioned all these artists to create these huge sculptures out of stone. It's amazing. And it was all dedicated to the woman he loved. But anyways, in here, there's like a little altar in there. And it was just kind of like, people can go in there and meditate if they want. Like it seems scary, but it's not. It was actually a really peaceful place. So let's tap in and see what the message is for you. Ah, it is surrounding fear. Okay. So, what your higher self is talking about is that yes, there's going to be times in our spiritual journey, whether we are, going inwards for meditation, it's the situations that we find ourselves in, all of these things that arise. And sometimes when we know in our heart that we need to do something, but we may feel a bit of trepidation, we may feel a little bit of fear in doing that thing. Understand that the fear is not coming from the higher self. If the higher self said, you need to, the best for your best and highest good, quit your job, go, start your own business and, do what you want to do, of course our logic mind is gonna freak out. It's like, what, you want me to upheave my stability? I love stability. Stability is what the ego craves. And it's like, but I love my happy little stable environment. I don't want to leave that. And so sometimes we give into those fears, because they're very valid 3D fears that the ego has. The ego is not lying. It's very valid. It's like, okay, well, there's a lot of things that could happen. I could not make enough for a living if I were to start this other job. I could, fail at it. I could, there's all these things that could happen. Um, but is your higher self ever going to leave you high and dry? No. Your higher self's never going to leave you without food in your belly and a roof over your head. So, although something may not make logical sense, the higher self knows something that the ego doesn't know. It knows that this is going to lead to this, that leads to this, that leads to this, that leads to this. And there's all this like spider web of steps that get you to what you ultimately crave and need, that the ego would just put the kibosh on at the very start. It would say, nope, that's scary because, if it fails, what are you going to do? We're going to be homeless. It's all this, it's this, you know. So the next time you feel something in your heart that there's something that you want to do, but then the logic comes in and tries to talk you out of it, that's actually when you know that what's meant for you is really meant for you. Like it's really meant for you. Otherwise, the ego wouldn't put up that big of a stink. If the ego didn't care, you would just go do it, right? Because there'd be no fear, there'd be no anxiety. But if there's fear and anxiety, then you know for darn sure that there's some mega healing that's going to happen. There's some mega growth that's going to happen. There's some mega confidence building that's going to happen. You're going to see a magical side of yourself that you've never seen before. And that is adventure. That's true adventure. But like I said, the ego doesn't want that adventure because it's so uncertain. So, yeah, this is just go inwards, do a little meditation here or there whenever you feel called to do something, but also at the same time feel a little fear around it, and just try to utilize the ego to your advantage. Allow it to tell you where this fear is stemming from. If I'm really scared to quit my job, where does that actually come from? It could actually come from something that I saw in childhood or that was instilled in me in childhood. This could be a past life experience. You know, there's always an energetic reason behind why we feel the way we do in the present moment. So, this is a good time to go inwards in the mouth of the monster. Jolene said, damn, yes. Lots of thumbs ups there. Angela says, oh, wow, what in the wolf is going on? And can we see what the cards say about these wolf vibes? You know what? We could do that for sure. We could do that for sure. Yeah, and Shadowlands. Let's pull actually for Shadowlands. Let's pull a card of the energy of her black locust tree. So I think that would be cool. So let's pull a wolf vibe one. So what's with the wolf vibes? But also for Shadowlands, what's going on with this tree? Okay. So Shadowlands, what the heck? You got another card that was in Viterbo that I took. Oh, Jolene's especially right now. So true. This is my God, the damn fear. I know, right? Okay. So this is taken in Viterbo. I have Wally photoshopped up in the balcony right there. So let's take a look at this tree of yours. Let's see what we have here. Oh, Shadowlands. Okay, if you're gonna be making a stang out of this, you know, a staff or something, dude, this is gonna have mega protective, like watcher type vibes. But it's like the watcher of the spirit of the tree itself, but also your own higher self, like watching over you. Not that it doesn't already watch over you, but it's like if there was a 3D representation of your essence, it would be that tree, if that makes sense. Dude, dude, do it, make the stang. That is going to be so cool. Yeah. And especially since you were talking about feeling, I guess, kind of unprotected, like with this health insurance, I think that working on the staff at the same time that you're working on the inner healing, trying to figure out, your own inner healing power, I think that's what's really going to help balance out this whole fiasco with the health insurance, but also just help you to find your own confidence and safety and self moving forward. So I think this is going to be really, really good for you. Angela says maybe Shadow has a tree friends. I think so. And Jolene says, anyone have any tips about overcoming fear or making any situation easier? John says, I don't think it's a coincidence the wolf is coming through during the supermoon. I know, right? I think when it comes to fear, because, I'm not going to sit here and lie and be like, I don't get scared of things. I have a lot of things that I fear. I have a lot of things that make me anxious. I have a lot of things that fill me with worry sometimes. But what I think is truly remarkable about our emotions is that it's a way for our soul to speak to us. It's the language of the soul. And we feel it through our emotions. So it may not always be like a talking voice in our head, but if I'm really scared about something, like I fear heights, but I'm getting better actually. And I noticed that the more I work on my inner healing, the less I fear my heights, which is kind of cool. So like, okay, let's say fearing heights. I have a massive fear about being too high. I feel like I'm gonna fall. And it doesn't matter how secure I am. I always feel like I'm gonna fall to my death, which probably means it's probably a past life trauma. So if I feel that fear, I say thank you. I acknowledge the fear. Thank you for showing me where I need to heal. So I go into that fear and I allow the fear to speak to me. Show me what's truly bothering you, what's truly fearful. And in that deep meditation, I may, actually see that past life. And I go into that past life and I try to understand what the lesson was. I try to understand the point of view of everybody that was in there. So I put my consciousness in everybody else's consciousness. I see it through the eyes of every single person involved. So I know exactly what they were thinking, exactly what they were feeling, what their sole intention was with that situation. And we get a broader perspective from it. Afterwards, I thank everybody involved. I show gratitude for what occurred. I show myself forgiveness as well as forgiving everybody else. I give myself love, and thanking myself for showing me all of this through emotion. And then I transmute everything into light. I send light to everybody that was involved, healing light. I send light into myself. I transmute that darkness that was fear into light. And then I try to see how does that now affect my 3-day reality. I'm going to try to go up really high again and see how the heights feel. It may not be 100% fixed at first, not fixed, but I keep going in and I keep getting layer after layer. And it might be past life after past life after past life. And eventually the fear becomes less and less and less because we're getting into the deeper layers of that particular fear. So that's just my way. Some other people might have some different ways for sure. Shadowland says, just wanting to be given one of its branches by Jax itself. Ah, of course, of course. Angela says, take a deep breath, count to 3 before doing or saying anything. If your mind is racing, ask, what is my next true thought? I also hold a doll tight when I'm scared and when there's excess, to relieve the excess energy. I love it. Yes, you guys definitely keep sharing. This is wonderful. John says, is staying a representation of the snake and healing? Am I making the wrong connection? No, 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 for sure. So yeah, the stang is representative not only as it pertains to masculine, but also as it pertains to healing energy. Like you think of the the caduceus, with like a Asclepius, or sorry, Mercury. Mercury had the caduceus. Asclepius had just the single staff with the snakes on it. But yeah, kind of within that vein. So definitely. Jolene, thank you. Mike says, that makes true sense. Angela said, also my dolls have intentions set to eat and transmute energy. I give them so the energy doesn't just sit there and grow. The doll has my okay to make use of it. Very cool. I love it. Okay, let's see about this wolf energy. Oh, dude. Dude. Okay, this image here, I took this picture. Actually, I took it with a cell phone, but I edited it in Photoshop and everything. But this is a picture that I took at my grandfather's funeral. That's actually my grandfather's casket in there. So this is definitely the death card. So let me tap in and see what my grandfather slash the wolf has to share with us. Okay, wolf is coming in, and very clearly I heard, it is time to lay to rest the aspects of ourself that we have believed to be true for so long, but are not true at all. So we are being challenged to start to look at our personality, like our like when we look in the mirror. And let's say I look in the mirror and I say, okay, that's Tara. Tara is, she loves to laugh. She's outgoing. She loves to get creative. She loves to sing. She loves hanging out with her homies on a Sunday, doing her live chats. She loves doing her channelings and helping people to find their internal strength. She likes, she likes to work out, so she likes her Jeep, and these things. But we may find that some of those bits of, like, let's say my personality may not be genuine to me. And what I mean is that perhaps parts of my personality were a learned portion because of the environment I grew up in, because of the household I grew up in, the friends that I had, the city that I lived in. So it influenced my personality to be a particular way when maybe that wasn't my true personality, if that makes sense. It's more of an influenced personality. Let's say somebody came from an abusive household and they have a aversion to conflict. So they try not to create conflict in their lives because it reminds them of the conflict in their house and how much pain there was with that. So their world is colored by saying, I want to keep equilibrium everywhere. I want to make sure everybody's happy. I want to make sure that there's no arguing, that there's no conflict. And it's because I have an issue with conflict, not because the people around me have issue with conflict, but because I do. And because I do, I decide that now I want to change everybody else to soothe my issue with conflict. Like I don't like the fact that you're arguing or that you're fighting because it makes me uncomfortable. So we may, the ego may say, oh, no, no, it's because I care so much about everybody else. It's because I don't want them to argue or fight, because I want, all I want them to do is love each other. That's coming from my heart. And yes, partially that is coming from our heart, but it's also coming from our ego that gets very uncomfortable when people are fighting or arguing. So instead, we're projecting our trauma out onto them by saying, you calm down so I can feel calm. And so I might decide that maybe that isn't a real part of my personality. That part of my personality maybe has to go away because that's not helping me heal and it's not helping others heal. On the surface, it may seem some like really nice thing to do, but it's not really helping anybody truly heal, myself included. So it could be things like that, that are falling away where I'm like, wow. And like what Jolene was saying, like being really scared, that could be really scary because our ego is steeped in identity. It's steeped in like needing to have a label, and I think that that's why that's come up so much in our culture is that we need to label everything. Like I want to know who you are. I need to know what that is. I need a label for this and a label for that. Otherwise, nothing makes sense to me. I need labels for myself. Otherwise, I don't make sense to me. Um, and so, yeah, I mean, I kind of went off on a tangent, but it felt like it was a big, huge message with this wolf message coming through is that it might be a little scary, actually. I mean, the ego is going to get scared. If you're telling the ego that you're going to get rid of part of it, it's gonna have a backlash. It's going to try to revolt. It's going to say, no, no, what are you doing? What the heck? I've been with you forever. Like, this is you. This is you. And you're like, but it's not really me, really. I got to let that go. I got to transmute that. But yeah, it seems like that's what's coming in with the wolf energy is that it might be a little scary for a lot of us, myself included, to really let go of the portions of us that we thought really were us. Like when I think of myself, that's who I think I am. And to find out that's not really who I am, that it was just a learned behavior or it was just an identity I created because of a trauma or because of programming or, things like that. And I think that that's where we really come to like a ground zero of like, as let's say we shake it all up and we lose identity. I think that that's why we get like when we did that channeling on memory, um why our culture fears Alzheimer's and dementia, because it's the thought of not knowing who we are or where we are. But if you think about it, what it really is, and that's what the channeling said it is it's the lack of ego. That people that can suffer from dementia and Alzheimer's, they have a chance to heal without interference from their ego, without their ego telling them, this is who you are, this is who that is, this is where we are. And so if we can get to that point without actually having, dementia or Alzheimer's, I think if we can get to that ground zero, we can really build ourselves back up in the image of our higher self as opposed to in the image of the constructed ego. So I don't know. Let's see what you guys think. Let's see if I can read this a little bit better here. Um, I think there's birds in my Jeep now. Let's see. Angela said, OMG, that resonates. John says, I'm trying to understand the stories I've held on to so long under a different light from other aspects of myself, etc. This definitely resonates. Remember, we are all one, says Mike. John says, I've even gone to the point where my ego kicked back on. It's super trippy. Dude, I've had that too. Angela says, we are one big hug. And John says, I meant kicked on the first time as an infant. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Shadowlands, the society has conditioned our egos to like labels. Exactly. And I think that that's why sometimes people who aren't, I have found that in some people, the ego isn't totally solidified yet, even if they're adults. And so when they don't fit into labels and maybe they don't resonate with labels, they find it very difficult to navigate in society. But really, it isn't society that they're navigating in. They're finding it difficult to navigate in the matrix because they are the least connected to the matrix. So there's nothing wrong with them. It's more like that's where we want to be, is where they are. Have that kind of disconnection so that we can continue our healing. But I feel like society tends to come down on those people because they're trying to force them into a label, like force them back into the matrix just to make the matrix feel more comfortable with itself. I don't want you to be different because then that makes me feel weird. So I'm going to like prevent you from being different just to make myself feel better. Like that's the matrix. um, Angela says, I used to volunteer on a dementia ward. I met some of the sweetest men and women ever, honestly. At first, they'd say they were sorry that they didn't remember me, but then they'd find a name for me in their head. The ones that were at the state of nonverbal would talk to me, and no one would believe me at first. One lady called me by a different name than I really had, but didn't know why. When I met the woman's daughter, the woman told me the name of her older sister who died in an accident. Her mom never got to say goodbye. The woman called me her little daughter and gave me hugs until she left this world. Oh my gosh, Angela, that is so beautiful. What a special experience. That's beautiful. And I have had people in my family on my father's side of the family where they have had dementia. Quite a few of the women in their 90s had dementia. Um, and it was always like looked down upon, like that, oh, there's something wrong with them. Oh, but now that I have this perspective, from our channelings that we've done, is that if I would have known about healing then, I would have done my best to try to help them to heal now that they had less ego. But yeah, that's wonderful. And John says, I have that reflected onto me. Wow. Angela says, one man that never said a word for years, I'd still talk to him. And one day he told me, thank you. Then the next night he was gone. You were doing some very special work, I feel there. Angela, you have such a beautiful light. I don't think I've ever said that, but you do. You really do. All of you do. All of you have such healing energy in such different, unique ways, and I think it's fabulous. Lady Red Wolf says, "Wow, Angela, that's amazing." Angela said, "I started noticing they would be really joyful and verbal, or tell me something like, 'Hey, I love you,' or 'Thanks,' or 'You're the best.' Then the next day they'd go." Um, I've always felt, because I mean, I've actually been around quite a few people that who've passed away when they've passed away, um, and it seems that before a vessel leaves, and it's not all the time, but if they can, I feel like the soul utilizes the vessel to be able to kind of tidy up some things before they exit. Um, Kind of like saying goodbye. And although, like you were saying, like the person was saying goodbye to their daughter, and even though you're not their daughter, remember that we're all one. So in that moment, her daughter's energy truly was in you, and she truly did get to say goodbye to her daughter. Um, or when the people tell you thank you and goodbye and things like this, or I love you, I think that they're talking soul to soul. So it's less like the physical you that they're talking to, but more talking to your soul and thanking you, soul, for helping me in this time of transition. So sometimes maybe if people are calling us by a different name, or they're seeing us differently with their eyes, it's that they're seeing soul that maybe we can't see at that particular moment. They're seeing someone else through us, because and that's how I get to channel, is that there's all these energies. We're all one, so of course we can all connect to any energy that's out there. All we have to do is just set our intention, and now that energy is me, now that energy is me, and that energy is me. And I think this ties in greatly with what the wolf was saying, the white wolf, is that if we can connect to all these different energies and we're all one, then everything I've constructed of myself in this matrix perhaps isn't the truest version of me. Me is pure energy. It's pure source. It's pure love. It's everyone and no one all at the same time. So I think that's wonderful. And just as I started rolling with it rather than stressing out about it, because I saw how joyful they were. Jolene says, wow, that's really interesting story for sure. Finding the light in the dark times we go through, even how small it might seem in the moment. John said, crossing over is a whole process. Lots of trippy things happen. Yep, 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 yep. Angela said, maybe we need to talk soul to soul instead of body to body. More sorry for those stories were a little too sad for everyone. No, I love when you share your stories. I think that they're very helpful for people. So definitely share away. All right. Well, while you guys continue to share, I'm going to do our little guided meditation, and I'm going to do it with our wand. So I'm going to hold on to that. Maybe I'll resituate myself, so that you have something better to look at for your meditation. Okay, so I'm gonna move this chair back here. Okay. Maybe I'm gonna switch this around like this. Maybe we can take a look at the garden here. There we go. Yeah. All right. Okay, so actually, you know what? I feel like a standing meditation. Ooh, let me do a little stretch. All right, you guys, are you ready? John says, I'm open if you'd like to try speaking soul to soul, Angela. That would be amazing. Okay, so go ahead and get yourselves into a nice, comfortable space. You could be lying down, sitting in a chair, maybe sitting on a pillow on the floor, or perhaps you are leaning up against a tree, outdoors in the gentle breeze, the sound of birds and rushing water, the rustling of the leaves in the trees. And as you get yourself to this comfortable space, bring your awareness to your breath. Just feeling that gentle rise and fall of the chest, inhaling and exhaling. And let's begin to set a little bit of an intention with our breath. Our breath that receives life, our breath that gives life. Our exhale is someone's life. Our inhale is our own life. What is it that you would like to bring into your reality at this moment? What would you like to see come into your life? How do you want to feel? How do you want to be? And so, with every inhale, we're going to inhale that light into us. All of our dreams, our aspirations, how we want to feel, how we want to be, what we want to bring to us. And with our exhale, giving breath to someone else, life to someone else, or something else, we exhale what no longer serves us, what has remained stagnant inside of us, what has lived rent-free for far too long. And we let it out with our beautiful exhales, knowing that although it no longer serves us, something else or someone else is going to transmute that energy into something beneficial for them. Just like we've taken the breath of the trees and transmuted it into life for ourselves. And continue with this visualization, bringing in what you would like, what is for your best and highest good, and exhaling what no longer serves. And now I want you to imagine a wooden bowl of water in front of you. And as you gaze into this bowl, you notice your reflection. But today, we're going to gaze beyond our reflection, beyond the reflection of the world, the reflection of our friends, our family, the society we live in. And I want you to look beyond and begin to ask your soul to show you who you really are, your strengths, your weaknesses, your truest dreams, your ability to help others. All that has been between the lines, what they didn't teach you in school, what you couldn't learn at home, the purest form of you, that is love. And sit with these images or these words or feelings that come through and allow them to come through. Continue to breathe in and out, watching the reflection begin to morph as the water ripples, moves. You may begin to feel or see an image that may seem foreign to you, but it's just because You haven't remembered yet, but you will. You will remember your magic. You will remember your strengths. You will remember your weaknesses, which are also just a reflection of our strengths. You will remember how to heal and to help others do the same. You will remember your light. You will remember your love and the love you came from. Continue breathing. If you need a moment, go ahead and sit with the messages that you received, either if they were visuals or feelings, sounds. Perhaps it was like a particular taste on the tongue or a beautiful scent. And when you are ready, I want you to take this bowl of water, this bowl that you are able to look past your physical reflection and deep into your truest self. And I want you to pour this bowl of water over your head. Allow the water to fall down over your crown, your face, your shoulders, your torso, your arms, your legs, covering you in that cleansing energy. Once you feel rejuvenated, refreshed, perhaps with a clearer perspective, go ahead and bring your awareness back into your body. You can wiggle your fingers and toes. Perhaps have a big stretch and a nice yawn. All right. Okay. All right, you guys, I thank you so much for hanging out with me today, making all these, this fun little project, making our amazing little wand. But I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I love hanging out with you on Sundays. Thank you for all these wonderful discussions that you had, all the topics that came up. I think it was great. So, all right, you guys. I guess I will catch you next Sunday. Love you all. I'll try to think of some other fun things that we could vote on for the next live chat. But yeah, I will catch you later. Love you guys. Have an amazing Sunday. Have a great rest of your week. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out. Oh, some light for you guys too. Love you guys.